Good afternoon, this is Carolyn and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. We are going to make our Forever Faith embellishment this afternoon. This is a swap that we do, I think, quarterly, and it is a faith embellishment. And you can see I have a couple of them up here. This is the one I started with. The prompt this time was Luke 2, where they were taking the census, and we were to use ledger paper. Well, I didn't have any actual ledger paper, so I had this grid paper that we're going to call ledger paper. And I thought I'll just do a journaling card because I'm always needing a journaling card. And I am actually going to use this one, even though that's not the one I decided to make. And I was going to put some of the branches around it and put one of these words on it. But I just couldn't make it look the way I really wanted it to for the swap. And so I came up with this one with the banners, and I liked it better. And Terry Rice has one that is similar. Well, it isn't similar to this by any means, but it's a 3x4 with a cross on it, and then some of her beautiful mente things that she fussy cut, and it turned out really pretty. But anyway, I was just going to do the journaling card, but I didn't like the way it was going, so I decided on this. And by the way, in the description box, there will be a link to the others that are doing this hop, and you can see the other really, really talented people. This is a hop over on Ginger's Corner that that many participate in, and you can just see all the different talented people. So I'm going to start today by showing you what I did with the words. I didn't just want these words just flat on there, so I cut two. A lot of times I do 3, but this time I just did 2 because we make 10 of these swaps. So that means, and then I make a couple for myself. So that means I had to cut like 24 of each of these. And so I just doubled them this time. But just doubling them makes them a little bit more like chipboard and gives them a little bit of dimension on your embellishment. And I like it better than just flat. Sometimes flat is fine, but sometimes it's not. Now to do just a little bit of liquid adhesive and then get started, and it's important to start straight so you can stay straight, which I'm off just a little. And even if you get off, normally these go very easily. Even if you get off just a little bit, it's really no big deal because I've even done them in an offset and they're pretty. So that one actually went on real well. But I just like it better. It gives them a little bit of a lift. They're not just that flat piece of paper. So there's that one. We'll either use it or that one that I already have made. Doesn't matter. Now then, while I'm going to assemble these little banners. These are just like, I think they're actually 1 1/16 is the little banner, and the paper behind it is 1 3/16. And so while I'm doing that, I'm going to do the twist today. The twist today is a thing I took off the internet, and it said, let me read it to you. It said, think about this statement. So you don't want to go to his house here on earth, yet you expect to live in his mansion in heaven. And I thought, that's pretty powerful. I have been there, and I don't know about you, but I've been there where I didn't want to go to church. And so the scripture that I took, and that just made so much sense to me, though. The scripture that I took was Hebrews 10:25. And Hebrews 10:25, and I'm just quoting it, so it may not be exact, says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging each other even more as the day approaches. So I thought about that, and I remembered, like, even back at COVID, for example, you know, when churches were shut down, ours was, I got so out of the habit of attending church. I was still doing my online Bible study. I was recording it and sending it out every week and doing the Bible study. I teach a Bible study every Sunday morning, and I continued to do that. But it got nice to be able to just sit in your pajamas with a cup of coffee and watch my Bible study and listen to the preaching. to the church service that they did put on. We never did stop having services. There was just, there were 3 or 4 in the praise team that continued. I did not. Actually 3, I think, that continued. They kept a lot of distance, and a couple of musicians, and then our pastor. And so we continued with, an abbreviated church service even through that time. But it was so easy to just get out of the habit. And then when it came time to actually go back and attend services, it was like, oh, that was so easy. But the writer of Hebrews, and we don't know for sure who that is saying, don't do that. You need the association. You need the affiliation, the meeting with other Christians. You need it for encouragement and support. You need it. Don't stop doing it. Forsake not. Don't stop doing it. And even more, he says, as the day approaches. And the day he's talking about would be the day that Christ returns. Well, that was 2,000 years ago. And so the day of Christ's return, and just by the signs of what's going on right now in our world, I have a tendency to believe that that time is very soon. So we need it even more now than ever, because I believe Christ is going to return very soon. And so assemble ourselves together. Go to church. Meet with other Christians. Be a part of a Bible study. Be listening to the sermons, but associating with your fellow Christians. I need it so badly. I need it. It's easier to stay home. It's easier to not do it. But that's not what God intended. He intended for us to be together, to learn together, to worship together. So I've just about got these banners finished. At first I just inked them, but it wasn't enough, especially with the cross. I'm going to show you the die cuts that I used here in a minute. Especially with that cross having the shadow on it, I felt like the banners needed the shadow also. I do have a banner punch, but I didn't use it, as you can see. All right, so we have our banners made. Let me close up my glue so it doesn't dry up. So we have our banners made. Now let's put our cross together. I'm going to show you. The words came from an Echo Park die cut set. It has saved, blessed, loved, forgiven, and inspire. And then the cross was, and I got both of them at Scrapbook Convention this year. The cross is this one, and so it has the shadow and the cross. And there were 2 of them. There was a little bit chunkier one also in that die set that I really liked. Okay, so we are going to put our cross together, just gluing it together. Then we're going to put our words. I love this cross. It's got the, I don't know if you could see it. I'll show you close-ups at the end. It's got a stitched edge that really dresses it up. And both of them have it. Not the shadow, but both of the different crosses that were in that die set. Okay, so there's our cross assembled. So now let's go back and put our words on our banners. So we're going to put saved on one, and I want it to come out over the edge. I think I can move this now that I'm not gluing so much. Maybe you can see a little better. Oh, where did my save just go? I just lost it. Oh, there it is. I want it to come out like a little over the edge. So I'm going to do something, I think, about like that. Just a little personality in it. Again, our liquid adhesive, just very, doesn't have to be everywhere. leave a little off of that D so I can overlap it. Let it hang off just a little. Okay, there's the saved. Now our forgiven. We'll do the same thing. I can't talk and run glue evidently at the same time. I've got to go out to my daughter's today in just a little while and take one of my female Doberman. We sell our Doberman on a site called, well, we sell them on several different venues, but a site called Good Dog. And all of a sudden they just put in all of these requirements and we have to get them met like immediately. So here's the dot on our eye. I didn't want to forget that. And or they, take down your whatever you call it on there. Well, we couldn't get it all done because we have a couple of females that are either pregnant or in heat, and you can't get x-rays, for example, when they're pregnant or in heat. So they won't be able to be listed right away. But we do many of the things that they require, but there were still some things that they didn't. And like I said, we take really good care of our dogs, but there were some things on there, like one of these tests, which we know it'll be fine because of just the history of our dogs, and we know our pedigree of our dogs and the history of them. But anyway, like $285 just for that one test. Another one was $150. But it's a good thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because that way people know they're getting dogs that are quality dogs, and not everyone will meet the requirements, and we will, but it just was the speed we had to do it at. So I've marked where that cross is going to go because I'm going to put some foam tape on there. I'm going to give that some dimension and put that cross up on foam tape. These are my cut sticky thing scissors, and they need to be cleaned. They are sticky. So take that release paper off and get our cross on there. I don't want it to overlap the words, but like that one where it just kind of fits in there. And then we're just going to trim this away to clean that up. And there we have that part of it. So now all we have to do is assemble our little branch clusters. And what I learned as I was building that one, I still have like 10 to go, is that I needed to just build the little cluster and then glue it to it. So that's pretty much what I did. I want to, and I didn't really have a particular way that I did it. I just started putting it together and deciding if I liked it. I just didn't want them all the same height, just kind of staggering some things. And let's get that one up just a little more. And I wanted an odd number, so I'm going to put 4 branches in this top one and 3 in the bottom one. And these were, these two are a Tim Holtz die set, and then actually the other set that these came from they're Sizzix, or I don't know, but they're I've had them a long time and use them a lot. So there's one little cluster. And then let's get another one for the bottom part. This one we'll just do 3. So that was a lot of cranks through the die cut machine, because these, I had to have 2 of each of those, and this one on every one of the embellishments. Let's see, I don't want those the exact same length, so let's move that one up just a little. There. Now, this one, I'm going to maneuver it in between the cross and the banner, something like that. Just a big old blob of glue to stick it in under there. Just like that. So I want it on that in-between layer. And then this one is going to have to go underneath, because there really isn't anywhere to put it to the banners. I like that anyway. So that is where we're going to put it. All right, I think that has it. This is the second time I made this video. I made it on that one also, and I started replaying it to load it just to make sure that it was okay, and somehow I'd gotten switched over to slow motion, and it was like, it was awful. So I said, I don't even know how to fix that, even in because it started out okay and then went to the slow motion, and so I was like, I don't even know how to fix that over in Movie Maker or anything. So I think it'd be less time to just start over. Okay, there we are. We've got it finished. So this is, if you check the description below, you'll see the other people who have made embellishments for this swap. I will give you a close-up here so you can see it a little better. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I really do. You could be anywhere, and instead you decided to spend a few minutes with me, and I appreciate that. If you like this embellishment, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and so have a blessed day and be a blessing to someone else. Bye-bye.